You are watching the #1 podcast in the wrestling community, and I'm your host, Juan.
And I'm your host, Jean-Paul Leek.
And we are
Road
Road
Break.
Break. How's everybody in the family tonight? I hope all of you are doing amazing. And like every other Thursday, we're here to review the best night in the business, which is Wednesday. Jean-Paul Leek has an awesome review about AEW Dynamite. He put it on this morning, talking about like the return of the Snake Roberts, Jake the Snake Roberts. We know that like he's gonna be managing somebody. We don't know who that's gonna be, and also like all the fallout from Revolution. Chris Jericho is gonna stay in business. He's not gonna leave, unlike many of the reports stated. And also Darby Allin trying to go in a tag match with Jon Moxley, but that didn't happen because of the inner circle and all of that. So please, the link will be in the annotation for this video. So family, right now we have NXT and Jean-Paul. AEW Dynamite has beat NXT for the 10th consecutive week. So
yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Like I said, I said this Dynamite episode was good, but I felt they did a little bit of bait and switch, where they were like, "Oh, the Exalted won," and then there was all this with Matt Hardy, and everybody wanted to tune in to see Matt Hardy, and then we didn't get him. I mean, we got Jake the Snake, which was just as legit, but that completely came out of left field.
yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
Well,
It was like nobody was expecting that. At least I wasn't. I didn't see anything about it, but I tend to avoid, some spoilers for some things. Other times I love knowing the news before it happens, but I didn't see anything about Jake the Snake.
oh no, I didn't even know. But like I feel that like AEW wants to like pace it out when it comes to like the arrivals, because they have three of them. They have
Mm-hmm.
Luke Harper or the Brody. They have
Mm-hmm.
Lance Archer. They have Matt Hardy. So they probably want to like use those cards. Hey, let's say when like there's a big like a NXT show that is really stacked. Okay, we
Mm-hmm.
can use one of those cards.
Well, then I
We're
was
gonna
going to
pace
say
them
that.
out.
Then I think next week we're going to see one of those, because I don't know if NXT is sick of getting beat, but this show was pretty good. I felt like this show started to pick up the pace for NXT. We said the last 2 weeks are a little boring. I thought this show was better, and also next week is a loaded show.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right, and I think Triple H is getting tired. We have a beautiful picture that I'm sharing there right there, the numbers for AEW and for NXT, and like people are just like loving AEW a little more. The box of youth, Jean
Mm-hmm.
Paul, is delightful. So let's start with the show, Jean Paul. Two steel cage matches. We have the show started with Tegan Knox against Dakota Kai, and Dakota Kai has already like her bodyguard or like her insurance in Raquel Gonzalez. So what do you think about this match? I enjoyed the whole thing. I think it was a really great match. And the winner kind of bothered me, but it makes sense. So I want to hear your thoughts, Mr. Eck.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. And like you said, there was a couple times where a lot of, like, you think, okay, the baby face, she can escape, but it's like, oh, she'd rather beat her opponent down in the ring instead of just escaping the cage. And like you said, maybe you thought Tegan Knox, was going to win, but it was one of those things where it's like, if the heel wins, then they can always meet down the line later on, because I always say when the baby face wins, it's done. But it was like a creative way, how she got pinned up there. But it was a good match. I think it was just a little bit overshadowed for there being another steel cage match on at the
Yeah,
end of the night. You know what I mean? So this was like when they do the both Royal Rumbles, it's like, okay, Charlotte won, but then by the time you're watching Brock Lesnar in the ring eliminating 15 guys, you completely forget that Charlotte won. You
yeah,
know what I
that's
mean?
that's
It's
how
like
I feel.
completely overshadowed, so.
That's how I feel, and the match was, like I said, it was pretty good. I don't, like I said, I was rooting for Tegan Knox. I will say, like in the Jean Paul jargon, I would say I'm a mark for
Hmm.
Tegan Knox. Like I really enjoy her in ring work. She's really skillful, and I would have given her the win. But I understand that Dakota Kai is the heel, and with Raquel Gonzalez in the picture, it's easy to book like her as winning rather than Tegan Knox. But the match itself had like really great spots when like Tegan did the crossbody from top of the cell and the cage and all of that. So I think that like they pull out. It was a great beginning for NXT this week.
Yeah.
So I will say though, where does like Tegan Knox go from here? See, that's the one thing that like we're gonna be discussing right now.
I mean,
And Jean Paul, yeah,
she could easily be in a match. I would say probably Dakota Kai and her are going to be each, in their own qualifying match for this ladder match. And then they'll win. They'll probably both be in the match. And then maybe something will happen there that will kind of blow off the feud. Maybe it'll be Dakota Kai is going to, win the briefcase or whatever they have at the top of the ladder. Tegan comes, knocks her off, wins it. Then she's the number one contender.
Exactly.
So like you could do something like that. There's a whole bunch of things you could do.
They're gonna do like those. They're gonna have those qualifying matches for the ladder match and NXT Takeover Tampa. So we'll see what they do. But like you said, I really feel that like they're gonna have their own qualifying match and then they're gonna meet again at Takeover Tampa, and then we'll see. Maybe I will put Tegan Knox as the number one contender just because she's a good babyface, and I don't know what the outcome is gonna be between Charlotte and Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, especially if you would do, because Charlotte is, she's content with having 2-second title reigns. So especially like if she wins, against Rhea Ripley, and then that means Rhea gets fast tracked to the main roster because they probably saw her on there on a couple episodes of Raw and SmackDown and stuff. And so they probably are like, we want her on main roster just looking at her. So she might be getting called up soon. So then Charlotte can get moved down to NXT for like, I don't know, a month or two. Feud with Tegan, drop the belt, and then,
and
Charlotte
go back to the main roster.
Charlotte can go back to the main roster. It's an easy transition. So, I mean, we'll see what they do. I hope Rhea wins. I hope Rhea has that WrestleMania moment where she wins, and it's not like, oh, I'm a loser. Like, thanks, guys, for having me on this show. But, we'll see what they do.
Exactly. I like you said. If I know why they put Charlotte on NXT just to kind of boost the ratings. Clearly, it didn't work. It's not working at all. Like AEW keeps beating them, and I think that like the show is trying to get back to the way it is, normally. But like I think that like Takeover Portland was so stacked that like it's taking a little longer than usual. But let me walk you through some spots, Mr. Egg, and we can talk about this. Kai follows her to the top, and then Kai tosses her down. Then Tegan Knox goes over the top of the cage. That's one of my favorite spots of the match. But Gonzalez tries to pull Kai out of the ring before Knox can hit the floor. Knox then kicks the steel cage door into Kai's knee, forcing Gonzalez to release her hold on Kai's knee. Then Knox begins to lower herself down to the floor on the outside, but Gonzalez uses the door of the steel cage to pin Knox against the wall, and then allowing Dakota Kai to escape and then get to the floor before Knox. So the winner is Dakota Kai. Also, Dakota Kai kicked out from the Shining Wizard. So that was like, I was like, whoa. And you see the reaction from Tegan Knox. It's like, it's like, it's not done. Why
exactly.
Done?
Yeah, like when we're playing the game and you're bullshit and you kick out like 2 finishers.
That's right. Well, at least in the game, I guess I have enough stamina. But Dakota Kai did the same thing.
Yeah, because she's legit,
Yeah, exactly, and they're building her up. They're giving her that like heel, main event heel, and that's why she kicked out from the Shining Wizard. So, and also I love the spot that she did a chokeslam from the top, and then she sent Kai down. Like, see, the match was really enjoyable for me at least.
Yeah,
and hopefully the feud continues for me because I don't feel that it's over yet. I don't think it's over yet.
No.
What about
like
you?
we said,
You said
it's
no?
definitely we're definitely think it's going to continue on. I don't think it's going to be like a long drawn out main event feud. I think that, like I said, the winner and hopefully the ending of it will come at Tampa. I think they'll both be in that ladder match, and then I think it might come down to the two of them because Chelsea Green, she qualified, she's the first one in it. I don't think she's going to do anything. I think she's just like a body in the match. I don't think she's going to really be like a contender or somebody to win
She's
it.
like her boyfriend, like is her fiance Ryder. She's just there. He's just there, yeah. Or radio, and all of that, yeah. I know what you're saying. Mr. Leeg, though. Finn Balor going to the next segment. He is sitting in a dark room backstage saying that he has always been the one to make the first move, but in this case, we finally know what is next for the Demon, or Finn Balor, or the Prince. He says, Walter has forced his hand on Balor. Then he stares into the camera and says, you are not going to like my reaction. See you sooner than what you think. So legit promo. We know that Finn Balor and Walter are going to be feuding right now. I don't know if it is the right decision. I want to hear your thoughts about that. I would have kept Balor and Adam Cole, but I don't know why they do this. It's probably because you said we said this before. They don't have a contender for Walter on NXT UK.
I mean, there's that, and there's also the thing where Adam Cole and Finn Balor are both heels.
Yes.
They're not gonna do heel versus heel, even though that match, and story's better. And we saw with the main event here of NXT tonight what they're doing for Adam Cole and who his match at Tampa is more than likely going to be. But to me, this is good because, like you said, who was going to go against Walter? And you could just think Finn Balor normal. Yeah, he was legit since coming back to NXT, but is he legit enough to beat Walter? And then, like you said earlier, you mentioned the Demon. That could be something you bring back. And imagine the pop that would get, especially if I don't know when you do it. Hopefully not just on an episode of NXT UK. Hopefully you save it for Tampa or maybe even WrestleMania, and then you had the Demon, and to me that would be legit.
Nah, 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 nah,
Yeah,
nah. Hopefully.
because then it would be believable too. Because you got to think this new aggressive Finn Balor, if he taps into the Demon, how much better he'll be, and that would be a believable person to beat Walter.
Yes, yes. But see, okay. But if you do that, right, you have a new champion in Finn Balor. But then, then you kind of like say you're one of the best guys or like your most important acts on regular NXT and you're going to put him NXT UK. I don't know if they will go that way. Maybe just to have Finn Balor lose. Because even if he loses, right, it will be believable because Walter is massive. You know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he could definitely. They could go the normal route. If he loses, I hope they don't debut the Demon unless they do something where he is the Demon and he beats him, and then they somehow have a rematch, and then he's only just like the man, and then he loses it. That would be something I'd kind of be fine with because then I'm like, oh, they could revisit this because they're 1-1. So it's like, who's really better? They could revisit that story later down the line. Like, I understand what you're saying, and maybe, like I said, they book it for WrestleMania because isn't the UK pay-per-view after WrestleMania?
Yeah, yeah. It is like maybe 2 weeks, 2 3 weeks. NXT
Yeah,
take over
I mean
Ireland.
that would be a bullshit, title reign of only 2-3 weeks. But I mean that is definitely a possibility you could
Hot
do.
potato, baby.
Yeah, that's something you could do. But to me, if that's what you're going to do, then you might as well. I mean, it looks good on Finn Balor's, Wikipedia page, but he might as well not even win it if it's only for 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll see what they do with the booking.
Yeah,
So see, this is very
but
intriguing and interesting.
yeah, I'm just excited for a match because we know how physical Walter can be, but Balor can also be physical as well. So I mean, they'll make it look like a good match. Clearly, if this was a shoot fight, Walter would rip him in half. But in a wrestling match, both guys will make it look extremely
And
legit.
see, like if we know the kind of match that like Tyler Bate was able to produce with Walter, and Tyler Bate is kind of like has the same physique, has the same like ability, like Finn Balor, like it resembles a lot what Tyler Bate can do. So it
Oh,
could be something
absolutely.
like that, and we know that match turned out to be one of the greatest matches on 2019.
Yeah,
So they
that
will
was
go that route.
my match of the year.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. So, Mr. Leegg, we moving forward into the show, and then we get a preview of NXT, the Women's Championship match at WrestleMania. Charlotte Flair, we know that winner of the 2020 Royal Rumble, going against NXT champion Rhea Ripley, and then we get a video package from her because she was recently visited the Raymond James Stadium, the place where like she will defend the NXT championship at WrestleMania, and then she talks about how overwhelming she feels, by the size of the stadium, and she's like, I'm not, and nobody's there. So it's like, imagine with like all these 80,000 people there. So she's feeling like she's saying how she's gonna try to beat Charlotte, and she's really happy, and she's like, well, I'm getting this opportunity, and my dream just started like a few years ago and everything. So we see how like they're trying to hype Rhea Ripley up.
Oh
Like,
yeah, and she said how she was always compared to Charlotte, and you saw when she first was in like the first Mae Young Classic that she was in, she had like red, just like red gear on, long blonde hair, smiling, like she did almost look like Charlotte. I think she looked better than Charlotte, but she did look similar. And then she's like, that's why when you saw her next time, like short hair buzzed on the sides, that leather punk look, she completely changed her look because she's like, I don't want to be associated with Charlotte. I want to be my own person. So then
yes,
that's kind of also like planting a little more seeds, or rather like adding fuel to the fire for this feud. It's like, I don't want to be compared to you. And she's, had the famous thing like, if you want to beat a man, got to beat the man. And she's like, well, Charlotte is, like number one. So if I beat her, then I'm legit. So
exactly. So
I
there is
think I
just
think it'll be, yeah. If Charlotte comes to play and she's not being the bitch, the queen, no selling and this and that, I think it'll be a legit match.
Yeah, it's besides the title, I think the match is also like looking to showcase dominance. Who's
Hmm.
the best woman in the whole WWE? Pretty much, because
Hmm.
of course NXT is after Survivor Series, you could say NXT is the number one brand.
Oh
So of
yeah.
course their best woman is gonna go against their best woman in the main roster. So the
Mm.
outcome of this will be like the best woman in the whole entire WWE. So we'll see what they do. Like you said, hopefully Charlotte is in the mood of like putting a great match, and I know that like Rhea Ripley can, she can put great matches,
Hmm.
and hopefully she gets the win.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't think we need a Charlotte NXT Women's Champion. I don't know what that will
No.
do.
No.
If they
The
want
only
to go
thing,
against
yeah.
Dynamite, that's not the way to go about it.
Like I said, the only way I would do that is if like she has a 2 3 week title reign. Same thing like if Finn Balor would win against Walter. You know, you have the short title reign, get her on NXT. She can cut a mediocre at best heel promo on Tegan Knox or whichever baby face should win. The ladder match. Boom, boom, boom. You have a match. You know, Maybe you could even have something happen where Raquel Gonzalez also wins a match into the ladder match, and then she turns on Dakota Kai and beats her down and is like, "Screw you! I want to win this thing." And then she could be like, maybe then her and Tegan Knox team up, and then maybe Dakota Kai turns face. She helps Tegan Knox win the match against Charlotte. You could do something where Charlotte doesn't lose clean, but she still loses the belt to, I don't know. You could do something.
Oh yeah, you
But
could do like
but
so
that's
many
the
different
only
outcomes.
yeah, that's the only like justifiable reason to give Charlotte the belt, I feel, is if she's gonna drop it quickly to somebody else.
Yeah, transitional champion, that's what you
Yeah.
will call it. So hopefully that's what they do, Jean Paul. And talking about the women's and the qualifiers for the NXT Takeover Tampa ladder match, we have Shotzi Blackheart. One of like the greatest ones. Jean
I'm
Paul, like
done.
she's excited. He was excited about her. I think she's a great wrestler. And like you said, her entrance was the tank all
Mhm.
along. It wasn't like trying to like make fun of like mock Sammy
Yeah,
Guevara at the Royal
yeah,
Rumble.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
Jean Paul
Which I
said,
told
that's
you,
part
which
of
I
her act.
told you, but you don't
Yeah,
listen
Jean
to
Paul.
Jean Paul.
Yeah, like Jean Paul said, that's part of her act. Don't get excited. Like, hold on here. That's what she does. So she went against Chelsea Green with, of course, Robert Stone or Robbie E. And the match was pretty short. They cut it short, to the point. And the winner is Chelsea Green.
Yeah, and I
She's,
do
like you
like
said, the
how
first one that advances.
yeah, and like I said, the one we talk about her move, the unprettier, I do like how she calls it the I'm prettier.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so like, and I do like how they bring that Christian reference, which I mean, they keep talking about it and all this stuff, and I'm like, just put him in the Hall of Fame already. Why do you gotta do this to us? To me, why didn't first of all, he should even be on Raw. Why isn't
Yeah,
he showing up? He's
yeah.
on the freaking, he does like the interviews before pay-per-views. He's on like the panel where
Yeah,
they're
and
talking
also he's
about
on
the show
backstage.
and stuff.
He's on
Yeah,
backstage.
you're telling me he can't be like Randy? What the hell? Why do you do this, man? Like
Yeah, and like
you
what they should have done, Jean Paul, when it comes to that, and very quickly, they should have done Christian and then Beth Phoenix.
yeah,
Because Christian is the best friend, and then you do the wife.
yeah,
Don't do the wife and then the best friend. So
yeah.
you're saying that he loves the best friend more than the wife?
Well, I mean, come on.
I don't know
He
about Edge.
probably does. He probably does. Sorry, Beth.
I
You're
don't.
legit, but sorry.
I don't know, but like that's what I feel, and like you said, I really like the Christian reverence, and in behalf of Christian, I'm just gonna say, can I live?
Hmm.
Can I live? Like I just put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Respect his career. He's a
Uh-huh.
two-time World Heavyweight Champion, Intercontinental Champion, Tag Champion. Hashtag Christian in the Hall of Fame. That's
Yeah.
what we want. And like I said, like you said, she does. I am prettier, but like she doesn't hit it as well as Christian did.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, she's not a bad wrestler. I think that it was tough because you don't want to put all these new women. You don't want to put like the Chelsea Green and the Shotzi Blackheart and there's a lot of other women who are a little more established who you're trying to push. And that's just the thing. Their women's division is so stacked. There's so much depth in the division. So it's like, hey, unfortunately, somebody has to lose, somebody has to win. And even if Shotzi Blackheart was in this match, she would have had a good showcasing, yes, but she wouldn't have won. So to
Yes.
me, I wasn't too upset, even though I would have liked to see her win. But, Chelsea Green, they're definitely pushing her more. And I feel like a loss would hurt Chelsea Green more because Shotzi's, I think, more over with the crowd. But because Chelsea has, Robbie E and all that other stuff, like, there's more of like a push behind her. So if she would have lost, it would have been like, okay, you're a loser.
Yes, and then she kind of like having Robbie E or Robert Stone. Like
Mhm.
you need to make her win at least to
Yeah.
make her qualify, and in the ladder match, then you make her look like
But
anybody else. But at
yeah, but
least in the ladder match, she needed to be there.
I do want to see him recruit more people. Maybe he, recruits Austin Theory. Maybe he gets, like we said, we got to bring Scarlett Bordeaux. Maybe him or her and, Killer Cross. Maybe the two of them. I don't know if Killer Cross needs a manager, but, unless they're waiting for him to pair Cross and Bordeaux. But, you need to bring more people into Robert Stone's brand because when it just looks like him and Chelsea, it's like that's not really a brand. Yeah,
Exactly.
that would
And
be like, oh, this is the Paul Bearer brand, and it's like
yeah,
it's just you and Undertaker.
yeah, you're right. And the one thing is like I hate to see Shotzi like lose, and it was like a really pretty like a
Yeah,
pretty quick match.
it was like 5 minutes and done.
Yeah,
Not
so we're gonna
much.
go to those. And Shotzi gets Green on the top rope in the corner, but Green hits the Blackheart with a missile dropkick from the top rope, and then hits Blackheart with a I am prettier. Like, pretty quick, a pretty good combination. Hits it like tribute to Christian once again, and she gets the win. Very simple. Match didn't last too long.
Mm,
I would much rather see Shotzi in the ladder match just because she can do more stuff and maybe kind of like get the tank involved. Do something different. Shotzi's the kind of girl that like can put like really good moves and high risk moves. But like you said, out of the two women, Chelsea is more established in the professional wrestling world, so that's why I think they went with her. And now ultimately, you need a big heel, and that's what
yeah.
Chelsea Green can become.
Hmm.
So Mr. Egg. After that, we go to Bass in His Glory, NXT North American Champion Keith Lee. He addresses the situation regarding who he will be facing for the championship next week, and he comes out and we get another video package from the apocalyptic imagery and the clock and the ticking clock. And who's the one that you're thinking is going to come out from those video packages?
I really don't even know. It's tough to say. Who are you thinking? Tell
I'm
me.
thinking I'm thinking Killer Cross. I'm not
I
thinking
mean,
Matt Hardy. I'm not thinking
nah.
Brother Lee. I'm not thinking Lance. No, that's AEW. No, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
No, no, neither one of them.
He would be. He's probably the only one, but I don't know what the clock would mean though. And
It's like I guess
because
it's
I'm
time
thinking,
for to destroy. I don't know.
yeah, that's what I mean. He's not going to be known as Killer Cross. Maybe they're changing his gimmick a little bit, like his
So
name.
time cross
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
or clock cross. Yeah, something like that. It seems that way. So we get more Ronaldo. Now that we're gonna go back, we're starting to talk about the North American Championship. He tell us that the following the attack from Damian Priest about like what he attacked Dominic Dijakovic, and due to that he suffered a hamstring hematoma, and he is considered week to week basis. Of course, Jean Paul already told us, no, relax. It's only a work. Don't
Mm.
be believing everything you hear. Come on,
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
get,
Wrestling is it's a stage performance. Calm
yeah.
down.
So no,
Don't
yeah,
be
yeah.
bullshit.
Don't think he's done. No. He's legit. He's good. So bask in his glory, Mr. Kid Lee comes down and see. This is the part that like I don't understand what happened. And then I want Jean Paul his thoughts about like the kind of heat that this man received, and it's not Kid Lee. It was like something different, and I didn't expect this to happen. So like I said, Kid Lee comes down. And then he's talking about he's on the mic, and then he says ever since he became the champion, people like Dijakovic, Damian Priest have called him out. Before he can go further, Cameron Graham's music hits, and see that is when it gets really like interesting because he comes out and he starts. He goes to the ring. He's saying that Priest and Dijakovic aren't the ones that like Lee should be talking about, but it should be Cameron Graham's. Grams tries to brag about his victory over Dijakovic, but the crowd overwhelms him with boos. What were your thoughts about this? Because see, it got to the point that like even he forgot the whole promo.
Yeah, I think that I mean, maybe I don't know. I feel like they're booing him. This was almost just like an ECW crowd type thing.
Yeah.
Where they're like booing him. Like they don't actually hate him, but they're like, "Hey, man, we want to see like if you can ignore the boos and we don't let it get to you." And I think, like you said, it got to him because
It got that.
he just kept repeating the same thing, and it was like maybe he's just supposed to be like a dumb redneck. I think he's from like South Carolina or something. So it's like maybe he's just supposed to be like that. Who knows what the whole like his promo persona is, how smart he's supposed to be coming off, but he just was like, yeah, you guys, it took you 20 minutes to pin Dijakovic. And it's like, yeah, you said that like 4 times now.
Yeah, but like I think, like
Yeah,
I said,
and like you said,
it got really over in the kind of heat. It wasn't like regular heat, it wasn't heel heat. It
mm-hmm.
was like get off my TV heat. So I don't know what was that all about, like because he
Yeah, no,
Grimes
I
like
mean,
those heels used to be over.
yeah, I wouldn't look into it like with the conspiracy theory goggles on. I think it was just, like I said, I think it was just part of the promo because Keith Lee is like an ultimate, white hot baby face, and then he's coming out here, he's being cocky, and it was like, dude, like, yeah, you beat Dijakovic, who had a bad back after he got attacked by Damian Priest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think they're booing him like, dude, you're like the most undeserving guy, in the room here. Like, who
Out
do
of
you
the
think
three,
you are?
probably
Yeah.
because even Keith Lee tried to help. He said, "Hold on, guys, I want to listen." He's like,
Mm-hmm.
"I want to listen what he has to say," so they will finally shut up. But they didn't. The crowd was like completely overwhelming Cameron Grimes, and if that's what the intention was, they really got
Yeah,
to him.
I think they rebounded well because like he'd go to speak and then they start booing him immediately and like his facial expressions he'd be selling it looking around he's like, well, come on guys, like let me just
Yeah,
so
let me
like they
just
had
finish.
kind of had a little bit of like fun with it and it wasn't awkward. It wasn't like he just stood in the ring and was like, so
So yeah, so
like yeah, it wasn't bad, but like you said, I think they were just booing him just because everyone else is so over. And I mean, he was over with the hat, but then he beat Kushida, and it was like, oh, okay.
yeah,
Maybe if Kushida would have won, it wouldn't be like done. But
it's WrestleMania season, so I also gotta sell it. Thanks WWE. So he says that William Regal gave him a North American Championship match for next week. So Lee pushes Graham so hard that it sends him out of the ring, and Lee says that next week he's going to be giving Grams an ass whooping. So somebody's gonna get his ass kicked.
mm-hmm.
So then we get to like
Somebody's gonna get their wig split.
yeah, and hopefully, well, we know that Kid Lee's gonna retain because he's
Yeah,
so
I
over,
was
like
gonna
you said.
yeah. But
That's
see,
in his
when I saw this match, I was like, oh man! And with the booze, I was thinking the same thing. Imagine if he would win. Imagine
oh
if
my
like
god.
Dijakovic would come back and Dijakovic would like fucking like interfere and be like, screw you, Keith Lee, I should have won, screw him over. Instead of
Yeah.
wanting to beat Keith Lee, he might just screw Keith Lee over. Like, I'm not saying you should do that, but I'm saying just imagine, like, if this is fantasy land. The booze that this dude would get. I mean, it's at the Performance Center, so I don't know if they're having a crowd or if it's just going to be like a coronavirus show that it's an empty arena.
I don't know
I
what they're gonna
don't know how
do.
they're doing it,
We
but it
know
is
that
at the
like
Performance Center, so I don't know if something's going on at Full Sail. I don't know what's the story is, but everything is going to be at the Performance Center.
well, it's like thing like you said is like well, we know about this disease. We know about like this illness that is like really making the whole world scare about it, and everybody's monitoring this on a daily basis. So we'll see what they do. We'll see, like you said, they might have a show just with no crowd, just
Mhm.
matches. And so it will be interesting to see the development of this. But knowing WWE, they're not going to stop for anybody for anything because that's what they do. And in a way, it's like it shows
But
character.
I do hope that they do have a crowd there because I feel like if they have them wrestle and it's just commentators, you don't hear any crowd. It's not good.
Oh yeah, well, it won't be good, but like I'm pretty sure they're gonna have all the employees. They're gonna be like, you guys stay down there and start cheering. It's like okay,
Yeah, yeah. We'll see.
we'll see what
Like
they do.
yeah, I'm definitely intrigued to see how it all goes down at Full Sail. But like I said, if you have Cameron Grimes win, man, that would be like people would lose their minds.
I'm
But I
telling
don't,
you
I
that.
don't, I don't think they will. I think Keith Lee's going to hold the North American Championship for a while.
Yeah, I think that's not the right man to take the championship away from Kid Lee. So Mister, we're going like to Finn Balor #2, or like Finn Balor, very similar, like the clone of Finn Balor in the name of Austin Theory. He is being interviewed outside, saying that he's one of the greatest in NXT already in NXT history, and then he's saying like, well, I'm just the chosen one. I'm just this great talent, and I'm the greatest of all the NXT. And then Isaiah Swerve Scott, he like kind of like listens to it because he's like walking by and he's like, what? What did you just said? He's like, what's going on with him? So it's like, I challenge you to a match to see if you say the person you say you are. So we'll see that in a little bit. Then we go to backstage to the Undisputed Era, and we get to see Adam Cole kind of doing a pep talk to Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong. He's like, "Oh man, guys, you're gonna beat Oni Lorcan in your tag match and Danny Burch." And he says, "And after that, you, Roddy, you're gonna beat the Velveteen Dream. You got it." And then after this, the Undisputed Era will get the gold back, and we'll be back with our prophecy. So then we get to see Mauro Ronaldo. He's congratulating the Street Profits on winning the Raw Tag Team belts. Jean-Paul Egg has a beautiful, beautiful review on Monday Night Raw. A great show from the first hour and maybe the third hour, but the second hour completely tanked. Even like there's reports that like a lot of people fell asleep, and and we're not saying that I'm one of them, but that we're not gonna throw that out there. So Mr. Leek, Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish versus Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan. See, Jean-Paul, Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan, they're legit, but they always lose. Can they get a win? Can I live?
Yeah, exactly. No, they can't live, and it's bullshit. Like, this was a legit match. Like you said, these two guys, Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch, their music is generic, their look is generic, and when they come down to the ring, they just walk, like...
No fancy things, no posture, no pose, nothing.
But when they get in the ring, man, like, there's few you can argue who are better. Like, even though you look at these guys and you're like, what? How can you say that? But watch a match. Yeah. This match here was extremely legit. Every time they wrestle, it's legit. And it's like you say, can I live? Can they get a win?
Can I get a win?
Let them relish in, something great here. But they won't. It's bullshit. And it's like, now I don't know what the story is. We saw the Broserweights beat the Undisputed Era for the gold. They're getting a rematch next week at this super show at the Performance Center. So it's like, okay, that's cool, but we've seen this match already. How many times? Like, unless you're gonna have the Undisputed Era win, why do we need to see them lose again in this rematch? Like, why couldn't we see? Yeah, why couldn't we see Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch, and then maybe you have the Grizzled Young Veterans interfere in the match or something? I don't know. Like, at least it's different teams, because it's like the Undisputed Era. Okay, they're team number 2 in NXT, because number 1's obviously the Broserweights. So, and then the number 1 team in NXT UK probably right now is the Grizzled Young Veterans. So it's like, oh, we're just taking NXT's 3 best tag teams and we're gonna just do stuff with them, and everybody else is just screw you. Like, the Forgotten Sons, who?
Well, Oni Lorcan and Danny
Burch. Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch, like, hey, thanks for coming. See you later. It's like you don't care about any other tag teams. They're almost doing the same thing WWE main roster is doing. Where if you just focus on 2 or 3 tag teams and all the other tag teams are just like, we'll just wrestle on main event. Okay.
And like you said, like, for example, the Undisputed Era exposure is becoming overexposure. I don't know why they keep doing that. I would much rather see Lorcan and Burch get the win, just because, like you said, for example, if you're not going to have the title switch, just give them a tag match.
Yeah, just give them a championship match.
Give them a chance, legit. Give them a chance, so then people can see it, because everybody's going to be tuning to see the Broserweights. So, hey, give these guys a chance, and then if you want to put the Undisputed Era in another match with them, wait till the pay-per-view. Yeah. That's what I feel you should do. Unless you're going to have the title switch, which it happens, I'm not going to be that happy, because you only give the Broserweights probably 3 weeks with the belt for no reason. So, the match was really good, though. So, I really know that, of course, the Undisputed Era got the win, but like you said, these 4 guys, they put on a really good match, and I think the finisher was, of course, the high-low.
Yeah.
High-low, that's what happens. And then after the match, we got to see the Undisputed Era. They got a promo, but let me just walk you through a little bit of the final sequences of the match. So Lorcan throws both men back in the ring and runs corner to corner, hitting uppercuts on Fish and O'Reilly. See, that's put a stable, Jean-Paul. Put these guys with Cesaro. They're all bald. They're all, they can be the bald-headed guys, and they all those uppercuts. They have the same style.
Please don't call them the bald-headed guys, because to me, then, what are you trying to do? Have them be jobbers to, so you got to give them a better name than that.
Well, Cesaro's already a jobber, so,
Yeah, but do you ever play the game Hitman for PlayStation?
Yeah.
The bald guy in the suit, they're all bald, call him the Hitman.
Oh, well, there you go. Call him the Hitman. The Hitman.
Not the bald-headed. Okay, WWE, just hire me as the booker. He can do
No, yeah. They hire me for the translation. You know how it is. So then I said uppercuts for both of them in the corner, and then the Undisputed Era catches Lorcan, run into the corners, and hit him with a high-low. O'Reilly pins Lorcan for the victory. And see, this is when the main stuff, like the meaningful stuff, happens after the match.
I just want to say one thing quick about the match. It was Danny Burch was in towards the end of this. He was in there for like a while. He makes the hot tag to Oni Lorcan. Oni Lorcan does that offense, like you say, and then he eats the pin. I'm like, he just came in off the hot tag.
Because he's done. He's already done. Put him in the game. He's ranked 64.
Yeah, it's not like usually the guy who comes in off the hot tag gets pinned, but you know.
No, but yeah, you can tell that like they don't respect or care about these two guys that we're saying legit, but again, don't even have any single ounce of respect when it comes to officials and Triple H. I don't really know why. Maybe they're still punishing him for what Oni Lorcan did a few months ago, asking for his release and everything. So after the match, Fish and O'Reilly get on the mic, and O'Reilly talks about how he's happy to be winning again. He says, "Oh man, it feels good to win again." So he says, "But both of us are missing something, Mr. Leek." He goes, "Fish, we're missing our NXT Tag Team Championships." So he said, "We're gonna beat the loser weights, and then Matt Riddle and Dan come out." So of course, and before they can even talk, he like Riddle is holding the mic, and he says that he and Dan are down for a rematch. He's like, "Are you done, Pete?" He goes, "Yeah."
Yeah, he's like, "Stallion Bro is ready."
Yeah.
He's Stallion Pete's ready, and then he's like, "All the NXT Stallions are ready."
And you know the one thing I like Matt Riddle,
and then he's Stallion, like, most important, he's like, "Stallion Regal is ready." Like, that's legit.
It's funny, but see, it hurts me because Stallion reminds me just of Rocky, and you know how much I feel about Rocky. Rocky's the Stallion, but that's fine. You know, I will let that go. But then before he can actually continue, then a team that Jean Paul Leg absolutely despises. No. He tolerates them. The real veterans. The real veterans come out. James Drake and Zach Gibson, and they come out and start attacking Riddle and Dunn. And they pretty much attack him, and then they grab the mic from them, and then they say that like they don't even care about the Undisputed Era rematch clause, but he and Drake deserve a shot at the tag team belts. And then the Grill John veterans stand up to the ramp and stare down Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. So maybe we will see an interference next week.
And as soon as I saw this, I was like, one, he's salivating, he's drooling, because he's gonna probably get his triple threat at Tampa.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, I don't know if you love triple threat tag matches as much as you love normal triple threats, but to me, I could see them easily setting this up, because if you want to do a title change, for some reason you want to get it off the Broserweights at Tampa, that's how you do it. You have it where they... You know, the grizzled young veterans pin. If you wanted to go to them for whatever reason, they would pin, Undisputed Era or vice versa. But like, you leave them out of it because unless they're gonna retain, they shouldn't be involved in the pinfall.
Yes, absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Because the Stallions, myself included, will be upset.
Well, and it is true though. Like I will feel also upset because like the title, it was when the title changed, it was such a meaningful moment, and everybody's down for the other Stallions, the Stallions in the crowd, the Stallions in the NXT universe, and all the Stallions, and even the Stallions around this area, Reading or Kutztown or PA, where all the Stallions were going to be upset. So I don't think they will do something like that. I think that like Matt Riddle and Dunn are way too over. So they, in order for them to carry that division, they need the belts.
Yeah,
so
and
maybe
as
they
soon
will put
as
a good match, but I don't see a title change.
Yeah, and to me, as soon as they lose, they have to go. They got to go back to the singles role. I mean, I'm not saying you have to do it immediately, but I feel like sooner than later, after they lose the belts, it's like, all right, like I'm gonna go back being a singles wrestler. I'm gonna go back to NXT UK. I gotta go beat Walter.
Yeah, I think that's what is gonna happen. But now, Mr. Egg, we go to Austin Theory and Isaiah Swerve Scott. Great match between two guys that are going to be the future of NXT and professional wrestling in WWE. And this time, Austin Theory gets the win.
Yeah, and the one thing I do like...
There you go.
Yeah, the one thing I do like, both these guys are extremely talented. Obviously, that was shown. To me, the tag team match was super legit. This match was legit. The main event was good. Like I said, we got really good wrestling. This match, you could argue, was the best match of the whole night just from everything that they did. But, one thing I like is Isaiah Swerve Scott actually got some mic time. He was actually, we said, like, can this guy cut a promo? Can he actually say anything? He just comes out to the ring wearing sunglasses and a vest, and, he can wrestle his ass off, and that's it. Like, I need something more from him. And we heard him talk, and his thing is like, this is Swerve's house, and the fans are there behind it. They're chanting Swerve's house, Swerve's house. So, that's the one thing I like is we're getting to see more character development from him. Austin Theory already has his character. Boom, it's in your face. He's from Atlanta. That's why his finisher, the ATL, the Austin Theory launcher. And, he's cocky. He's like, I'm the star of NXT. I'm the future. I'm the chosen one, almost like Drew McIntyre. When he first came in, I'm the chosen one. I'm destined for greatness. And this match to me this should be a start of a feud. I don't want to see them just have this one match and then Scott's like, so I'm going to go to 205 Live. Like, I want to see this be a feud. Let them wrestle again. Let Scott win. Then it's 1-1. Then you maybe have an Iron Man match between the two or, a 2 out of 3 falls. Do something.
They become a regular thing on NXT TV. It will be absolutely great. And like you said, hope. It's good that they give these two stallions, some time. And since they're the future, they were really good. So let's go through some quick things, highlights of the match. Austin Theory goes for Alexa. No, it's Alexia. He goes for Alexia, and Scott blocks it. Then Theory goes for a Rolling Thunder Flatliner. I love that move. Flatliner is, out of like all my time ever since I've been watching it. I love the Flatliner. But Scott grabs Theory's arm and locks it in an armbar. Then Theory reverses it, but Scott instead snaps Theory's arm. Then Scott works for the top rope, but Theory takes Scott's eyes and sweeps Scott's leg out from under him. Then he hits the ATL. That's what it is, right, Jean-Paul?
Yeah. Like Atlanta, the abbreviation like for Atlanta. Like
the ATL, Atlanta, or like
Austin Theory launcher.
Yeah, the launcher. And then he gets the 3 count, and like you said, really legit feud. Hopefully, it's the beginning of a legit match, and hopefully, like you said, they prolong this maybe all the way to Tampa. I don't see why not. It will be really good, and it will give these two guys TV time, and keep them having great matches. Like I would say, this was probably the best match of the night.
Because you got to think, like Leo Rush. I mean, he's still there. But, him and Jordan Devlin are kind of feuding a little bit. And, like, Jordan Devlin's not on this show every week. He's more on NXT UK. So, that belt's over there. And then the thing is like, Angel Garza's not here anymore. So there's really, a lot of the cruiserweight presence is gone.
They need...
So now you have guys like Austin Theory, Swerve Scott. Now those guys are stepping up. And they're giving them matches, which are pretty much, almost right before the main event. There was a Johnny Gargano interview, which was legit. We'll talk about that in a moment. But this was, the second to last match. So it was one of those things where, they're giving these guys prime time, spot.
So and you need that nice to keep the crowd going. So absolutely, I agree with you. Hopefully we see a little bit more of Scott when it comes to my work. Because like you said, he needs to just tell us who he is. Because he tell us who he is in the ring, but I need to know who he is from a perspective of like I want him talking. So we'll see what that happens. So now, Mr. Like you mentioned, Johnny Gargano gets an interview with Mr. Mauro Ranallo. An interview that like Mauro Ranallo was trying to find out the why. Kind of like when Randy Orton hasn't given us yet. He kind of gave us glimpses on Monday Night Raw. And Mauro Ranallo played his character very well. Because he kind of like looked like kind of this guy that is kind of sensitive, that he gets uncomfortable quickly. So your thoughts?
And so did Johnny Gargano. Johnny like... I like Johnny Gargano, I think, almost more as a heel than a babyface. At least, like, with the mic work and stuff. To me, like, everything he said was, like, extremely legit. And it comes from a place of realness, I feel, where it's almost like, he said you could get what he was saying in here. I know you'll run us through it, but just moments that popped to my head is when he says, like, I'm the heart and soul of NXT. Like, you said all this, and he's like, but then how come when Ciampa came back, it was, daddy's home. And then it was almost like Johnny had to play second fiddle to Tommaso Ciampa. Like, everybody thought he was, the best thing ever, and then Ciampa comes back, and then it was like, Johnny who? Like, what? Who? Like, huh? So he probably feels like jealous, overlooked, like always in Ciampa's shadow. Like, that's just the kind of stuff that I picked up from it. And I like the more aggressive side because it's like, why should he, like he said, Moro's the guy he gets all these wrestlers over with the
with
crowd.
with the commentary, with the
Yeah,
calling
yeah,
of them.
he's like, you're the guy who tells our story. And if you're telling a bullshit story, people are going to hate me.
Yes.
And,
Yes, and that's pretty much what happened. So, like I said, Moro asked Gargano why he turned on Ciampa. So Gargano says he looked Ciampa in the eyes and did what he had to do. He said that Moro doesn't know what Johnny has been through, and then he's seen and fell. So Moro says, "But I want to know, Johnny." And Johnny's clearly agitated, but Moro is trying to get like a why. Like I said, they always want to get is a why. Then
mm-hmm.
Gargano gets on Moro's face and says, "You know why." He says that if Moro admits it, he knows why, and then he's a liar. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. He says that Moro didn't check on him and talk to him after Portland. So they're even incorporating Moro Ronaldo into this.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, so there's maybe Moro might be part of the storyline. We don't even know. That's what I got from the thing.
Yeah,
and
to me, this reminded me like when Jim Ross used to do those sit downs, like with Mankind and
with
all
the
that stuff.
Undertaker, with
Yeah.
Kane.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, see, this is legit storytelling. So Moro says that he can take this Johnny's aggression, and he's like, Moro's like, I'm done with this. I'm done. So he leaves, and then Johnny gets into the camera, and he goes and looks, and he says that next week he and Ciampa are going to do things the Johnny Gargano's way. So Jean Paul, I think that like it was a legit interaction, and like you said, Johnny Gargano as a heel, he shows more intensity. Because as a babyface, and we said this before, like as a babyface, you don't have enough room to develop like kind of real emotion. You always have to be like, wee, wee, hi. Well, as a heel, you can be like, oh, I hate everything, or like I'm doing this because this happened to me.
Yeah, and to me, like his heel thing it's almost like a Punisher, like people familiar with the Marvel comics, where he's doing bad and evil things in a like a way you could say, but also he's justified in his actions because he's like, why do I always have to get disrespected just when Ciampa comes back? But when Ciampa wasn't here, then I was good enough.
Yes, you could see like that. There's that thing. There's the jealousy.
Like, yeah, to me, but it's not even jealous. It's like justifiable. That's like if someone goes out at your job and then you get promoted. When that person comes back, why do you lose your promotion?
Yes, it's like it's a fair jealousy,
I mean?
or it's compensation, so to say.
Yeah, it's like weird. It's like you understand. It's not like he's being spoiled, he's being entitled. It's like no, he is. Well, one, I think he's a better wrestler than Ciampa. If you're going just off their skill alone, maybe Ciampa's better on the mic. Maybe Ciampa has the better presence, but Johnny Gargano is just a better wrestler. So to me, like he is the best in NXT, next to guys like Finn Balor. But it's like, what are you gonna do? Like Ciampa comes back, and obviously they got to put Ciampa in that main feud. So then he's gonna get pissed off, and then that's what I mean. So the whole feud, like the story was there, and it just goes beautifully. I feel.
Oh yeah, it is absolutely right, Jean Paul. So we'll see what they do next week. And it's really interesting. So we get a video package before the main event of the Velveteen Dream and Roderick Strong, the rivalry. Patrick Clark, you know how legit he is when it also sells the matches. And Roderick Strong, he's another great wrestler. And then we get, like you said, confirmation that the next week NXT is going to come from the Performance Center. And we're going to have 2 championship matches. Keith Lee against Cameron Grimes for the North American Championship. And the Bruiserweights, the Stallions, will go defend the NXT Championship against the Undisputed Era. So now, Mr. X, main event time, second steel cage match of the night. Roderick Strong going against the Velveteen Dream. I think that like the match came about really, really great. They put like probably one of their best matches. For me, this is the end of the feud, though. This should be.
Yeah. Super legit, because I think, like we said, we'll get into it, but the ending, everything that happened to me, the feud between these two, as in Roderick Strong and Velveteen Dream, is done, but the feud between Dream and the Undisputed Era is just getting started.
Yes.
So, you said, it was a legit match, and to me, it was the best match. At least it was since Dream's return. It was better than the match they had the previous week, and, this was great, lots of intensity. I love when Marina came down and she gave Roderick Strong the kendo stick.
Yes.
I thought that was legit. There was lots of... The only thing I didn't like, which I know it's set up for what's going on, so then afterwards I was okay with it, but I don't like how the Undisputed Era had to come down again.
Oh, yeah. Like that's
like every single time, but at least...
I keep telling you,
yeah.
is worse than Evolution. All right, and
Yeah.
I used to love Evolution. Evolution is one of the greatest staples for me in my whole time watching wrestling. But it gets annoying that all the time they have to come out and help. It's like, can I live? Like the
Yeah.
Velveteen Dream can say that. Can I get a clean win?
Yeah.
It's like it kind of destroys the whole atmosphere.
Mhm.
So, like usual, like you said, let's go through them like the highlights of the match. Marina gave Roderick Strong the kendo stick, and then the whole Undisputed Era comes out, and then Dream decides to retreat back into the cage, so he does not have to deal with all the members of the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole has made his way into the cage, but Dream tosses him across the ring. Strong tries to escape the ring, and then Dream initially stops him, but then he instead decides to push Roderick Strong out of the ring. So you can see like how the Dream actually loses the match. He doesn't care about that. But
Yeah.
then we'll see the real intention right there. Then we get to see the real intention because he is with Adam Cole inside of the cage. So he actually locks the door. He locks the cage.
Hmm.
So then the Dream closes the steel cage door so that he's in the ring along with Adam Cole. Then he lays into Cole with all the weapons. Then he hits Cole with a Dream Body Driver onto a steel chair. Then the Dream eyes to the NXT Championship. And then he picks it up and poses with the crowd. Then just as Adam Cole gets back to his feet, the Dream hits Cole in the face with the belt. And then the Dream poses over Adam Cole with Cole's NXT Championship. Then he poses on the top of the steel cage with the NXT Championship on top of the steel cage as NXT goes off the air, Mr. Leek. So we understand at the end of the show why the Velveteen Dream loses the match. He's willing to sacrifice loss over, and now we know what the main feud for NXT TakeOver Tampa is.
Yeah, because like you said, he saw the moment. He's like, yeah, I could beat Roderick Strong here, but I've already beaten him. I don't need to beat him again. So he throws him out. And as I said, locks himself in the cage with Adam Cole because he's like, I'm going to embarrass this guy, stand over top of him, hold up his belt, flex on him, and it's going to piss him off that he's going to have no choice but to give me a match at Tampa. And, Ciampa couldn't beat him. Johnny Gargano couldn't beat him. It's one of those things where it's like, what are you gonna do? Is Velveteen Dream gonna beat him, or are we gonna? Is Adam Cole gonna kick out of 3 Purple Rainmakers and 6 Dream Valley Drivers, and is he gonna hit 14 last shots and then he's gonna win on the 14th one? Who knows what we're gonna see? It'll be a legit match, but I hope it's a legit match that isn't just the same formulaic match of the Young Bucks have the super kick party, and sometimes the main events. Sometimes the main events of NXT is the kick out party. You just kick out of everything. So we'll see. I think it'll be a legit match either way. But like you said, it was Velveteen Dream. He was like, Roderick Strong, dude, I don't care. Get out of here. He wants Adam Cole. And that's the smart thing because, like we said, Finn Balor maybe would be a more legit match. Both Bullet Club, you could tap into that. But you're not going to do heel versus heel. And maybe you think, well, isn't Walter a heel? But maybe going over there, and since Finn Balor was attacked, maybe they're trying to turn him face. Who knows? I think that's a bad idea, but I don't know what they're doing. And to me, I don't know. That's what I mean. That is face or heel versus heel, but we'll see. Maybe they're going to turn somebody face in that feud. Maybe Balor loses and it turns him face. We'll see.
I'm a little bit, annoyed by how I guess the Velveteen Dream is going to be the number 1 contender. I would much rather would love to see 2 heels. I was eyeing for Finn Balor and Adam Cole. To me, that would have been the best match in 2020 because of what the ring work that they can have.
Yeah.
But the Velveteen Dream, we see him in a championship match before with Tommaso Ciampa in War Games. So I think that we're going to see this again. It's going to be a legit match. Is he going to be the one to dethrone Adam Cole? I hope not.
I don't know why you don't like the Velveteen Dream experience, but I don't think he does. I don't know. I think he should win it when he gets there. I just don't think he should have gotten there. He just came back. He had the North American Championship, lost it, got hurt, comes back. He wins technically 1 match, and now he's a number 1 contender.
Yeah.
So to me, he should have had to do a little bit more. He should have had to beat Finn Balor, but now Finn Balor is involved with Walter, and maybe he should have beat the last
Ciampa or Gargano.
Yeah, but Ciampa and Gargano are in a feud now. So who is their single star for him to feud with? All the other singles guys, you go down the list. Oh, Dijakovic. Well, he's out. Damian Priest. He's in the North American hunt. Cameron Grimes, same thing. Kushida, MIA. They shipped him out of there. He's from Japan, not China. You can still keep him where he's at. I don't know what they're doing. So to me, the only choice was the Velveteen Dream. So I don't know. Maybe with that being said, they won't do the title change. I mean, but the crowd's behind him, and maybe that's a way because after Mania, you do have to call people up. So maybe it's the Undisputed Era. Who knows?
Yeah, it
we
is
got
different.
2 months. We got 2 months, and there's news and rumors coming every day. We'll probably see every crazy conspiracy theory, but we love it.
We love it. Absolutely right, and that's how the show ended. And I think that like overall, it was a pretty decent show. I think that like Dynamite is still putting a little bit of a notch. I think they get a little bit over NXT just because like I missed Io Shirai. I needed to see a little bit more of Damian Priest. Maybe something a little bit more development on that, and maybe Scarlett Bordeaux. I just feel that like that's Dynamite is just a little bit better. For example, to me, the Snake Roberts did something like I haven't seen him in like forever, and the promo that he cut in the intensity, like
Hmm.
all the wrestlers from the WWE roster can learn from the Snake. At
Oh
almost
yeah.
like 60 years old, or maybe a little older, like he was able to produce that kind of a promo. That
Hmm.
shows you that you should be taking classes if you're a wrestler with the Snake Roberts on how to talk, how to like portray, your intensity, your levels of anger, and everything. So, Mr. Egg, we're gonna go, and we're gonna always remind everybody. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Please, when you subscribe, hit the bell for all the notifications. We're putting all content every single day. We never stop. And like Jean Paul was saying in the video of Raw and also in the video of AEW Dynamite, Raw break, we're going to be attending the Elimination Chamber. It's going to be a great time. We're going to be interviewing people. We're going to be, hopefully, we don't come back sick. I'm not going to mention with what sickness, but hopefully we come back healthy. And we're going to be giving you a lot of content from the Elimination Chamber from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And guys, don't forget to check us out in the social media world. You know where to find us. And we're going to come back tomorrow with SmackDown, Jean Paul, and a little bit of
Hmm.
breaking news from
Un- un-
SmackDown
un-
Live.
Unfortunately, bullshit SmackDown, but
And I don't know if this is gonna make you be happier or less inclined to watch the show. Moment of Bliss. Nikki Cross, Alexa Bliss is gonna be interviewing the NWO. Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Sean Waltman, X-Pac.
I mean, to me, that's just going to be extremely cringy garbage. Scott Hall's probably going to be liquored up and like checking out Alexa Bliss and be like,
Hey
"Hey
yo,
yo,
hey yo. Yep, that's
right,
another stallion we're gonna be checking out.
yeah."
So we will be
So
back for
yeah,
that, and then we'll have previews and predictions for the chamber, and a lot of coverage from the Elimination Chamber itself, news and rumors, and of course our review of the whole show. So in the name of Jean Paul and myself, we want to say,